In 2019, a radio telescope detected a signal unlike anything ever recorded. It wasn't noise. It wasn't natural. And to this day, no scientist has been able to decode it. Distorted radio static bleeds in, soft at first, then sharpening. A sequence of faint pulses echoes behind it. Two short bursts, one long, repeating. The signal repeated with mathematical precision, as if someone or something was sending a message. So the question is, who or what is trying to communicate? The signal was first detected at the Hawthorne Deep Space Array, a remote observatory tucked into the high desert, far from cities, far from interference, and known for capturing some of the clearest radio readings on Earth. For decades, astronomers have recorded strange transmissions from the cosmos. The legendary WOW signal in 1977, a powerful burst that appeared once and never returned. Fast radio bursts, FRBs, intense millisecond blasts from distant galaxies that still baffle researchers, and countless unexplained pulses, blips, and cosmic whispers sprinkled across scientific archives. But this signal was different from everything before it. It happened just after midnight. The Hawthorne Array was running a routine sweep when one monitor showed a sharp, unexpected spike in frequency, so sudden that the on-duty technician thought the system had glitched. But then the spike stabilized, a perfectly timed pulse, followed by another and another, each one separated by the exact same interval. Within minutes, the pattern revealed something even stranger, a short, tightly compressed burst, almost like a digital data packet, repeating every 46 minutes with flawless precision. At first, the team dismissed it as interference, a passing satellite, a stray signal from Earth, maybe a malfunctioning transmitter. But then the anomaly began to move. Its origin point drifted across sky coordinates in a path no aircraft or satellite could follow. The staff activated 2 additional detectors. Both picked up the same signal, same tone, same pulse length, same exact data packet. And every single repetition was identical, down to the microsecond. When the team isolated the anomaly, its structure became unmistakable. The signal began with a burst of 16 tones, not musical, not mechanical. Each tone had a slightly different pitch and duration, forming a pattern that didn't match any known natural source. Then came a gap, a perfect, silence-filled pause lasting just under 2 seconds, so precise it could have been cut with a scalpel. And after that, the strangest part, a longer wavering transmission that sounded less like a tone and more like heavily compressed data, almost a digital whisper hidden inside a radio wave. When mathematicians examined the 16-tone burst, they noticed something unsettling. The tones followed a sequence derived from prime numbers. Meanwhile, the long wave wasn't random at all. It carried characteristics of structured information, patterns, repetitions, and blocks, more like an encrypted file than cosmic noise. This wasn't random. It was intentional. Scientists scrambled for explanations. The first idea on the table was starquakes, violent ruptures on neutron stars that release massive bursts of energy. But the team dismissed it quickly. Starquakes are chaotic. This signal was organized, almost disciplined. Next came the pulsar hypothesis. Pulsars naturally emit rhythmic radio pulses, so at first it seemed like a match. But pulsars don't create multi-layered data patterns, and they definitely don't encode prime number sequences. Then the military angle surfaced. Could it be some classified technology? A stealth long-range communication test? Experts in radio defense analysis stepped in and shut that down. No military system on Earth operates at this frequency, and none produce a signature this stable. Another team proposed a deep space reflection, radio waves bouncing off an unknown object in space. But that theory fell apart too. A reflection would distort over time. This signal held a perfect trajectory, consistent down to the microsecond. One by one, every conventional explanation collapsed, and what remained was something no one wanted to admit. Once the scientific theories dried up, the decoding attempts began. Cryptographers were the first to dive in. They ran the burst sequences through every cipher model known, classical, modern, obscure. Nothing matched. No substitution pattern, no rotation key, no recognizable encryption architecture. Mathematicians tried their own approach, mapping the waveform into geometric structures. The results were strange. Parts of the signal behaved like a fractal self-similar, repeating, yet the repetition broke in ways that made no mathematical sense. It was ordered, then suddenly not, almost as if the rules changed mid-message. Next came the AI systems. Major research labs fed the raw waveforms into language models trained on billions of data points. The output was the same each time. No detectable linguistic structure. Whatever this was, it wasn't speech, code, or any communication format humans had ever documented. Then a breakthrough, small but important. At the end of each 16-tone burst was a faint numerical value. When astronomers isolated it and compared it to known frequencies, they found a match. The hydrogen line, the frequency SETI researchers have long considered a logical, universal reference for interstellar communication. It was the first clue suggesting this signal might be more than a cosmic anomaly. It might be intentional. And it opened the door to a new round of theories. With no scientific explanation holding up, researchers and the internet began exploring the stranger possibilities. One theory suggests the signal is an extraterrestrial beacon. Supporters point to two facts: the mathematical precision of the 16-tone sequence and the use of the hydrogen line, a frequency many believe any advanced civilization would use as a universal signpost. If true, this wasn't an accidental broadcast. It was deliberate. Another idea proposes the signal is a civilization marker, a kind of cosmic "we are here." Some astronomers argue that if a distant society wanted to announce its presence without revealing coordinates or technology, a repeating, undecodable pattern might be the safest option. Others think the signal might be a quantum communication leak. In theory, certain quantum effects could allow a message from another dimension or another timeline to bleed into our own radio spectrum. If that were the case, the structure wouldn't fit any human cipher because it wasn't designed for our physical rules. Then there's the darkest theory, a warning signal. The repeating bursts and periodic intervals could be akin to an alarm system, a beacon meant to alert any listening species about a cosmic threat. Of course, no one knows what that threat might be, and behind the scenes there are whispers. Staff at the nearby observatory claim that on the 11th detection, something about the signal shifted. Just slightly, but enough to spark internal concern. Others insist the long, encrypted-looking wave contains a missing payload, a data block that scientists have quietly isolated but not released to the public. None of this has been officially confirmed, but with a signal no one can decode, unofficial stories tend to spread quickly. Just when the mystery seemed to be fading, a new development reignited global attention. Last year, upgraded deep space telescopes picked up something unexpected, a faint echo of the same undecodable signal. Only this time, it came from a completely different region of the sky. The frequency matched. The tone sequence matched. The overall structure was nearly identical, but the transmission was incomplete, as if only fragments had survived the journey. This raised three major possibilities. First, multiple sources. If the same type of signal appears in different sky coordinates, it could mean more than one origin, suggesting a network, not a lone emitter. Second, movement. The source may not be stationary. If it's drifting, slowly shifting position over time, it could imply an object in motion, a vessel, or even a megastructure. Third, and the most unsettling, the signal itself might be drifting intentionally, rebroadcasting from point to point like a cosmic relay, as though someone is trying to make sure it gets heard. When journalists asked the research teams for a formal breakdown of the new data, the response was unusually controlled. Public statements were short, vague, and noticeably incomplete. Behind closed doors, scientists continue their analysis. But whatever they've found, they're not ready to share it. In the end, the mystery remains as deep as the space it came from. No natural phenomenon fits the structure of the signal. No known human technology can replicate it. And every attempt, scientific, mathematical, or computational, to decode its message has failed. Now, with the signal echoing from a new part of the sky, The few answers we thought we had have dissolved into even bigger questions. Is it a beacon? A warning? A transmission meant for someone else entirely? One thing is certain, whatever this signal is, it is not going away. If we are not the ones decoding it, are we the ones being watched? What do you think this signal really is? Drop your theory in the comments, whether it's grounded in science or completely out there. And if you want a full deep dive into other unexplained cosmic signals, let me know and I'll create one. Kindly hit the subscription button. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.